What's up, grinders? Welcome back to the channel. Okay, it's time to get serious with the plans. Now, if you've been watching my channel, you've probably seen some previous videos where I said that once I completed my Esperanto C1 exam, I would be able to move on to a new challenge on this channel because obviously I don't have to focus on preparations for that, etc. Now, I have officially passed my exam. Yes, that's right. If you saw my community post, you would have seen me post a picture of my certificate there. I've only got the digital version. I think I'll get the physical one in a month or so because, you know, it's going to be posted to here from, I guess, Europe. And when that rocks up, I will go into more in depth about, you know, what happened during the exam, the speaking part of the exam, you know, my marks, all that type of stuff. If you guys are curious, just let me know in the comment section below if that's something you care about. If not, well, then I guess I'll just post a picture of it and say, hey guys, see, here it is in the flesh. Or in the paper, because it's not going to be made of flesh, but that would be fucking sick. Could you imagine getting a certificate printed on human flesh? Jesus, no, that went just, whoa. I don't know where that went. Okay, so, we're gonna get back to the plans. Now, in one of my previous videos, I spoke about, you know, different ideas. One of them was the Mikkel challenge, and a bunch of you guys loved that idea. I actually made a video on it. I explored it in depth, you know, what it would actually take. Realistically, it would take more time than I have available to dedicate every day, and I gotta be realistic about my hours. I already burn 3 hours a day on friggin' Spanish, guys, so I don't have too much time apart from, you know, maybe an hour, maybe 2 on a good day, you know, tops type of thing. And his challenge, although on the surface he said it would take 1 to 2 hours a day, yeah, the math, which I actually did, like in my video, I explored it in depth, following everything he said. Yeah, there's no way you're doing that in 2 hours a day, and realistically, after 3 months, you're going to be absolutely nowhere in the language, so it would just be a shit challenge overall, and probably a waste of my time. As much as I want to, you know, sit there and laugh at Mikkel because I managed to beat him at his own challenge at this time, it's probably not a good idea to do it. Now, a bunch of you were also interested in that one because it's Japanese, and you want me to do Japanese, and I want to do Japanese, but I want to do a proper challenge for Japanese. And unfortunately, that's going to need more time. And I don't want to squander whatever challenge I do for Japanese because I want it to be a great one. And I've explored different things. So, you know, obviously I've looked into Magaku, I've looked into Native Shark, I've looked into a ton of things related to Japanese, mixing that with CI Japanese, which is like a website to get input and stuff. And that is something I want to do, but again, I want to do a proper challenge in a proper, like, time frame, measure everything, and I don't think I have the hours this year to do it. Maybe next year. So, that left with a few other options left. There was obviously the Latin idea that I proposed, but there was basically no interest for that. Like, a couple of people were interested in it, but the vast majority of you guys weren't really interested in Latin, even though I love it, you know. It is what it is. Like, I'm here to do challenges that are both interesting to me and for you guys overall as well, because otherwise, what's the point of making videos if no one's going to watch them, you know? Okay, so apart from that, what was the other ones? Oh, yes, I proposed Mandarin Blueprint because you guys wanted me to, well, some of you wanted me to actually test out that service. Super expensive, but then there was a lot of pushback saying, although that's kind of cool and everything, you're probably too far along with Mandarin to actually do a proper review of it, so maybe just leave it up to someone else, and, you know, I get that overall, like, realistically. So that leaves me with, what do you guys want me to do? And what do I want to do? Because remember, this is like, there's two sides to this, okay? So, realistically, there was interest around Mandarin, so continuing my Mandarin journey and making some type of challenge out of this, and then there was interest around Japanese. Now, I've already said with Japanese, I'm going to have to push that one back, because it's a big job, okay, and I want to do it properly. And I'm already pretty far through with Mandarin, and there's a lot of interest around me keep going with that and actually doing something with it, so I guess what I'm going to end up doing, okay, guys, is I'm going to be launching a secondary channel, and on that channel, I will slowly start uploading videos in Mandarin Chinese. Now, what I'm going to do, because this will be a very slow process, okay, is because I've never done vlogging or, like, monologuing in Chinese about anything beyond just talking about the most basic stuff around the house with my family. I'm going to actually knuckle down for about an hour, 2 hours a day, and go hard on practicing speaking Mandarin Chinese and, you know, listening to it, obviously, and really just actually using it to make videos. That's right. So, at first, don't expect any, like, don't expect like a video every day in Mandarin Chinese. That's not gonna happen, okay? Because like I'm already burnt out making videos every day. Well, I'm not burnt out, but like, you know what I mean. I'm already consuming a lot of time making videos every day in English. But a bunch of you wanted to see how I grind my languages, what I do. And because I'm already at the intermediate stage, my recommendations previously were more for like, you know, going from beginner up to intermediate. Now I'm gonna try push past that point. I'm gonna like try shove my way ahead and actually start making videos and monologues about topics that are just not your standard everyday type of stuff, to actually, you know, really start building up all those muscles. Basically what I did with Esperanto back in the day. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a topic, maybe once a month at this stage, and I'm going to basically learn all the vocab that I need to speak about that topic, practice talking about it and all this type of stuff. I'm not going to memorize a script because that takes the fun out of it, but I'm going to practice building out templates in order to discuss everything around this topic and just like really do that. And then maybe, I haven't decided like how often I'm going to make films about how I'm doing this, but I'm going to do that. And then at the end of, I guess, the month, I will then drop a video in Mandarin Chinese talking about that topic. Unscripted, but it will be around something where I've purposely practiced vocab and structures and things like that in order to get good at it. And the whole idea here is basically that at first there'll be like one video a month, okay? And then as I get better and I cover off more and more topics and, you know, my lexical understanding, whatever it is, you know, basically, what's the word in English? In Esperanto, it would be vortrezoro, which is basically like, it translates as like your treasure of words, but it's like, you know, like the sum of words that you know, like overall, you know, your base understanding of all these, I don't know, whatever. You guys get what I'm saying. As my basically ability in the language expands, I'll be able to start making more and more videos. So on this channel, I will like upload, you know, videos that show me going through my process, sharing it with you guys, and showing, you know, how much Anki and stuff I'm doing, because that's going to be one of my main tools I'm going to be using here. Showing you how much I'm doing, you know, per hour cards, all that type of stuff. And then I'll be dropping the video on the secondary channel. And the secondary channel is going to be my Chinese channel. Now, the goal for that channel at first will just be where I dump, you know, the monologues, whatever they are. But my dream one day was to actually have a gaming channel where I talk in Chinese. Okay, so I'll be doing Let's Plays. But before I get to that point, I should probably get good at talking about a bunch of random topics before I get there. So at first it's going to be like a monologue maybe every month, and then after that it will start speeding up. It'll be more and more monologues, and then it'll be boom, I'll flip over to doing like basic gaming videos, and then as I get better and better at that, I'll start doing more and more and more. So that's kind of like the crazy idea that I'm going with right now. And since I've made a video about this, I guess I'm fucking stuck doing it. There's no way to back out of it now, you know. Challenge has been started. It has been accepted by me, moi, and I type of thing. So that will be my focus, I guess, for the next year. Yeah, I guess for the next year, because I'm going to be doing Spanish and Mandarin Chinese. That's it, okay? Now, I know a bunch of you are sad because you wanted me to do Japanese. I will get to it one day, okay, guys? But languages take time, and realistically, I should probably get my Mandarin Chinese to a good level before I move on to Japanese. You know, there's a number of reasons why around this. Obviously, you know, it would be helpful in my life with my family and stuff, even though I'm probably at a level now where it's good enough to, you know, use around the house. That's realistically what I learnt it for, was just to use it with my in-laws. I didn't really need it for anything else. But this will give me the push to go really beyond that. And the second reason is, and this one's kind of like a stupid reason, I think, overall, okay. There's a lot of people who don't give any respect to Esperanto and, you know, what I've managed to do with it and how I've learnt it and all that type of stuff. Like, they just diss it straight out of the box because, well, to them, it's not like a real language worthy of respect or whatever, and therefore, they don't want to listen to what I've got to say, my recommendations around learning languages, even though I've done it all the way to fluency and C1 level in, you know, Esperanto. And yes, I'll eventually do the C2 test, but like, I've gone the entire yards. I've tried everything along the way, but for some reason, just because it's Esperanto, they don't give it the respect that it deserves. So, I guess if I do it with Mandarin, you fuckers can't complain anymore. Like, those fuckers. I'm not talking about you guys, because you guys are all legit. I love you all, mwah, you know, type of thing. But those guys, they can't say, I don't know what I'm on about. because then I would have done it with, you know, essentially the easiest and essentially the hardest. And don't get into a fucking flame war in the comment section over what is the hardest. You know what I mean. Anyway, that's pretty much it. It's fucking late right now. I'm making this video really late in the day because I just got back from watching a crazy-ass horror movie, so I'll see you all in the next video. And if you're not there, I assume you're grinding because that's what you better be doing, because that's what I'm gonna be doing for months to come.